Oh, hello! Nicholas Joyner here with Game with the Guys, bringing you yet another week in review. Now this is a very special week, for it is the final week of the regular season. And with such, I would like to break down the barriers of previous recaps. No more phony green screen, no more double-speed video, and especially no more atrocious American accent. No, this time I just wanted it to be me, you, my hot cocoa. That is some good hot cocoa. And also, this delicious can of unicorn meat. With the Falcons' 31-10 victory over the pathetic Panthers, Matt Ryan ties Dan Marino's record for most wins for a starting quarterback in his first 3 years, at 33. Moving forward, the Falcons will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, where they have been ungodly good over the past several seasons. The Panthers, on the other hand, were 0-8 on the road this year, and they can look forward to next year's first overall pick. John Fox's contract as head coach will be over, and with him, his guy Jimmy Clausen will likely be kicked to the curb for the new coach's guy, #1 pick, Andrew Luck. The Pittsburgh Steelers make the Browns look like the garbage that they are in their 43-9 rout over Cleveland. This matchup was such a joke that an unheard of 6 players had passing attempts in this game. All laughing matters aside, Eric Mangini was fired as head coach of the Browns after only 2 seasons. Now, they say that a carpenter is only as good as his tools, and Eric Mangini had shite for tools in Cleveland. This year, the Detroit Lions finished all of their NFL record losing streaks, but ended the year on a high note and began a streak they can actually be proud of. With their 20-13 win over the Vikings, they end the year on a 4-game winning streak. After the game, Leslie Frazier was rewarded the job as Vikings head coach on a more than interim basis. Brett Favre retires. Again. We'll see about that. The AFC West champion Chiefs suffered their first home loss of the year on this Sunday by falling to the Oakland Raiders 31-10. Now, this game shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, as Oakland went undefeated within their division, an achievement that logically should secure Tom Cable's job as head coach in Oakland. Unfortunately, we're talking about Al Davis here, so logic never really comes into the question. Cable will not be returning as Oakland's head coach next year. The Patriots looked unstoppable once again as they shattered the dreams of several small children around the nation, winning their 8th straight game in their victory over the Dolphins 38-7. The Patriots' winning streak started right about the same time that Tom Brady's hair grew too long to draw Justin Bieber comparisons. As for Dolphins head coach Tony Sparano, last year he lost 55 pounds in the offseason. This year he will likely lose his job. Way to go, Tony. The Buccaneers toppled the Saints 23-13 this weekend, giving them 10 wins on the season. Unfortunately for the Bucs, they are one of 2 10-win teams that did not make the playoffs. The Saints did qualify for the postseason, and this coming weekend they'll be facing the worst team to ever appear in a playoff game, the 7-9 Seattle Seahawks. Coach Rex Ryan sat everyone on the Jets for their season finale, Yet they still managed to win against the Bills, 38-7. Bills quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick also sat out the game, and in his place, the Bills threw in 2 Jets double agents. Between them, Braum and Brown threw 1/4 of their caught passes to the Jets defense. After the game, Rex Ryan stated that he thinks the Jets can still win the Super Bowl. Well, Rex, I still think that you're fat. The Ravens topped the Bengals 13-7, giving them 12 victories on the year and the 5th seed in the playoffs. For the Bengals, their disappointing season finally comes to an end, as does Marvin Lewis's career there as head coach. A lot of coaching turnover this year. A lot. Tim Tebow apparently did not pray enough, nor baptize enough babies last week in order for Jesus to grace them with a win. They fall to the Chargers, 33-28. On a lighter note, Broncos legend John Elway will be joining the front office this offseason, in which he will help them search for, what else? A new head coach. The Green Bay Packers fight their way into the playoffs with a 10-3 victory over the Chicago Bears. Aaron Rodgers was spotted after the game speaking with Bears quarterback Jay Cutler, and this is what he likely said to him. "You're a bitch, Cutler. I wish you well in the playoffs, because I hope that we meet in the NFC Championship game where I will enjoy beating you then even more than I did today." I can only imagine that's what he said. Despite virtually every player on the Colts roster being injured this season, they still found a way to win the AFC South. The one player who wasn't injured, the true moneymaker, Peyton Manning, as he leads the Colts to a 23-20 victory over the Tennessee Titans. The Titans end their season with a lot of questions. Will Jeff Fisher be back as head coach next year? Will Vince Young return as their quarterback? Could both be back? Or possibly neither? With both starting quarterbacks out for the Cowboys-Eagles matchup, the game was hardly worth watching. So I hope that you didn't. The Eagles will be moving on to face the Packers in the playoffs this coming weekend, while the Cowboys will be going home and sitting on their couches, much like this one, and dreaming that Jason Garrett had been their head coach for the entire season. Not to fear, Cowboys fans, it seems that Jason Garrett will be their head coach for many years to come. In the battle of the NFC West mediocrity, the 49ers beat the Cardinals 38-7. Who cares? Oh, and I'm obligated to mention that the 49ers will, too, be searching for a new head coach this offseason, as well as a quarterback. As I previously mentioned, there are 2 10-win teams that will be missing the playoffs. The second is the New York Giants, who collected their 10th win over the Redskins, 17-14. The Redskins will likely be kicking Donovan McNabb to the curb, because they find Rex Grossman so much more desirable. Let's be honest, they'll probably have a different starting quarterback next year. The Jaguars' Maurice Jones-Drew and quarterback David Gerard were unable to play in their matchup against the Texans this weekend. That's okay. They wouldn't have made the playoffs anyway. Houston's Arian Foster claimed this season's rushing title in their 34-17 victory. He also set franchise records for yards rushed, 1,616, and rushing touchdowns at 16. You go, girl. I'm out of hot cocoa. It seems that I've left a game out of my notes this week. Which one could that be? Oh, right. The stinker of the NFC West Championship play-in game. Well, Seattle won. Don't recall the score. I wrote it right here, though, so you can see it there. These teams were terrible. But Seattle's making the playoffs, so good for you. And there you have it. Week 17 wrapped up into a neat little package. Remember, Game with the Guys will be coming back to you in a new format in just a few short weeks. But until then, Game with the Guys. Game with the Guys. Football.